With shuffling the tarot, you could do it anyway. Really, you can even make up your own version of shuffling. This is a common one where I'm right-handed, so I'll do most of the shuffling with my right hand, most of the movement, and then with my left hand, I kind of loosely hold the deck. I don't really know the technical names for this. I mean, some people kind of make up their own different ways that they describe the shuffling. This one is actually not my preferred way of shuffling because it doesn't really do a good job. For example, this is a newer deck for me. If it's a newer deck, even though I have shuffled this one a lot, but say if it hypothetically is a newer deck and I haven't shuffled it much, I'll kind of notice with a new deck, if I just do this even 13 times, a lot of the suits will be grouped together still. So it does come in handy though when you just want to feel cards to move around. And another way you could, I've seen some people do it where they hold the deck vertical and do a similar type of thing. I don't really do that because it's a lot more complicated. It's a little harder to keep the cards balanced, but if you want to look fancy. Oh, and probably the most important thing when you're shuffling is you're actually thinking about either the querent's question, the seeker, what they want the cards to reveal, or if you're doing a personal reading, you're thinking about that and feeling relaxed, just channeling the energy and getting in that tarot state. I will do a video on how to read cards. So, I mean, you could chant even just in your head if you want. Have a chant for the beings that you work with if you do, or just ask the universe a question. But definitely I would say the vibe and tapping into that energy, and it's more of just that channeled feeling, is really gonna be vital. So I'm getting the hang of actually, I'm actually surprised at how good I'm doing this with this way of shuffling. So I'll show you another way, which is actually my preferred way. I think it's the most popular way that people shuffle. Is they'll get the cards, basically split them in half, and go like that on the table. My table happens to be right here. I guess I could use my knee to support, but you get the point. And you could do it like that. If I got a better grip on it, it'd be a lot easier to do what looks similar to like a rainbow. So I'll try it over here and then see if I can move it over because it's easier on the table. You get a better bend, and then when you I don't know why that reminds me of a rainbow, probably just because it's curved. And to be honest, I'll usually keep doing that sort of shuffle. I'm obsessed with the number 9 right now, so it depends just if you have a certain number that you're really into or called for. So I'll do things in 9s. I really like 8 also, just because of the year 2024, and that adds up to 8. So it's an abundant number, and I feel like that's a good blessing to get the vibe of it. These cards that I have right here are on the thinner side, so I actually like that because it's easier to shuffle to get that bend and flexibility. And there's another deck I have here actually. A lot of decks, they vary in just the thickness and the feel of the cardstock. This one has more of a matte feel, if that makes sense. And it seems like this deck is longer too. Yeah, it's a little bit longer. I think these might be easier to shuffle actually. But yeah, this style of shuffling right here, it took me a while to get the hang of it. And at first I was just, what's going on? And say if I dropped a card, a lot of it had to do with just being flexible and comfortable with this, with my left hand. It's practice. So that's pretty much the gist of it. I'm sure I've seen some people do something like, they're kind of just going like this. To me, it just kind of gets to the point where it's like, do we really need? I'm sure there are so many different possibilities. I can shuffle the cards, but yeah, I'm pretty basic when it comes to shuffling. I like this one because it kind of feels nice as far as I can focus on the message. I can kind of get more to that state with that way. But my other preferred method, I like this if I feel like I really need more cards to be shuffled faster. And then this one, oh yeah, these ones are stiffer. You can either push them together like I said. So yeah, that one's good. But then at the same time, it's kind of funny. Sometimes if I'm not paying attention, you have to do this in a particular way. So usually with the right side, when I'm splitting the deck, I then just flip this side over like that to where the words are here and then the words are closer to me on this side. And then I look at the cards just to make sure before I do it if they're gonna line up properly, because I mean, at least for me, I don't like it when I have a lot of reversals and they're going different ways. So I guess that's the only downside that I can think of with that way of shuffling, is that you could possibly get a bunch of reversals if you're too much into what you're doing your reading on. But like I said, the more you practice, you're gonna have to think about that less and less the more you do it. But yeah, probably because I have small hands, I really like this deck. I'm gonna do a video showing this deck off. I like how it's small and the cards are flimsy, but yeah, everyone has their preference. I hear a lot of readers, when I watch videos on deck reviews, they tend, at least the videos I've watched, usually they like the thicker cards. But let me know if you have any questions or suggestions on tarot, and watch this video or this video.